This is Motherhood Unmasked, the podcast for real talk about the challenges moms face. I'm your host, Vanessa Harris. But mama, you're the kind of hero who doesn't need to hide behind a mask. I'm looking forward to connecting with you today. It is episode 3. Can you believe it? I'm so glad to have you back with me. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. So, with the gym closed and a pantry full of snacks, I'm trying to keep from ballooning up by the end of all of this. But it is hard, y'all, especially since Joanna Gaines shared that zucchini bread recipe that my family and I had at her restaurant, Magnolia Table. Let me tell you, I can't stand zucchini, but we are tearing up this zucchini bread. It is that good. So, needless to say, maintaining my waistline is taking intention, consistent intention. And hopefully, you're doing a lot better than me if working out is even on your radar, because I totally get it if you say ice cream is getting you through all of this here quarantining and you'll just deal with the extra pounds later. It makes perfect sense to me. But I did a quick HIIT workout. What is that? The high intensity interval training workout. Did one of those this morning, and with every exercise, the instructor kept telling us, or really me, to engage my core, aka suck in your stomach. And every time she said it, she reinforced the importance of staying connected with your core. Because beyond having a cute six-pack, engaging your core supports the rest of your activity during exercise. It's foundational in exercise. And when you think about it, your family is foundational too. They're at the core of what matters in life. And some of us, during this quarantine, are noticing our families are as flabby as our stomachs. I mean, all this time cooped up together during this quarantine has been revealing, hasn't it? Real talk, it's been a blessing and a burden for me. My oldest is a couple years from college, so I'm very aware how little time I have left with him before he goes off and makes his mark in the world. And so it's been good having our family together, because between school, basketball, ballet, and all the things, life didn't leave us a whole lot of time for family connection. So we've been appreciating each other more, remembering that we really do love each other, but we've also had constant exposure to each other's flaws. And you know how we do, we give other people outside of our family our best behavior, and then we save the bulk of our foolishness for those closest to us. So yeah, that's been magnified by this 24/7 family togetherness. I never realized how much I depended on the built-in breaks provided by a good old school day or a work day at the office. But I have to remind myself that this too shall pass. This pandemic will end, and lifestyles will resume in some form or fashion eventually. So I've had to shift my perspective and try to find the silver lining on this coronavirus cloud. And for me, it's been the opportunity to engage my core. Because what this pandemic has done is reduced everything down to what matters, who you trust in, and the people in your home. Because after my faith in Jesus, my family comes second. They're a part of the nucleus everything else in my life is built around. They used to say that term nuclear family. Remember that? There was a reason that it's called nuclear family, because let me take you back to biology for a minute. A nucleus is the hub of a cell. It's what makes all other cell functions work. And just like a cell is only as healthy as its nucleus, your life and the life of every member of your family is only as strong as your family unit. What's the reason workout instructors give for telling you to hold your abs in during exercise? It protects your back from injury. Could the blessing in this pandemic be the opportunity to invest in our families and protect our lives and legacies from injury? And I know you're baking with your kids and teaching them life skills. I'm doing that too. But what about connecting through conversation to address issues that you typically avoid with all the busyness, to reach out and have the uncomfortable conversations? I know that's a lot to ask in a pandemic, on top of hand washing and physical distancing and feeling like you're preparing for battle every time you go to the grocery store. And even when our regularly scheduled lives resume and you come home after working a full day and picking up kids from practice to fix dinner and make sure homework gets done, I'm talking about connection too. It sounds draining. As I think about it right now, it sounds draining, and I get it because I'm an introvert and I would love nothing more than to close the door to my room and recharge for hours in the middle of the day. I would love to do that right now. I can't even explain. But anyway, you and I absolutely need personal space. All of us do. It's harder to come by these days, but you do need a moment to just be. But when I'm tempted, like right now, to indulge in escape behavior, I come back to a couple things. When am I going to have an opportunity like this again? And I don't mean being quarantined for weeks under the threat of sickness and death. We hope that never happens again. But beyond that, when will you have as much time to spend with your kids as you do when they're living under your roof? And two, since we're all here together, how can everyone in my house come out on the other side of this better, not bitter? Does it mean asking everyone about their feelings all day? No, but it could mean being more observant. For me, I either create or take advantage of time alone with my husband and then a time with each of the children just to check in. I ask how they're feeling, who and what they're missing, how they're sleeping, just trying to engage them and see where they're at mentally and emotionally. And along with noticing some cool things about my people, I discovered the real struggle one of my kids has with confidence. And everything in me wants to fix it, and I know I can't. But there's something to be said for giving the gift of being seen and heard. And if your family doesn't normally connect through conversation, it will feel awkward. My husband and I didn't grow up in families that created space to share. And even though it's something I've been intentional about since our family started, it's a challenge for me sometimes because I'm processing my own thoughts and feelings while trying to help someone else process theirs. And it's tough to do whether you work in or outside the home with all the activity of modern life. Well, what will be modern life when we get back to it, I guess. But like exercise, connection doesn't just happen. When's the last time you said, "Oh, I have a few minutes, let me do some crunches"? That's not happening unless you prioritize and make time for it. So what one thing can you implement to engage your core? What small act could you add into your daily routine that builds your family? If you journal, write down what you come up with. Something about writing things down reflects their importance and makes doing it more likely. May staying connected help us stay in love with the family God gave us. Until next time, remember, when it comes to you being the mother of your children, you are the woman for the job. Take care. Thanks so much for joining me today. Before you go, be sure to like and subscribe to the podcast. That way you get notified about new episodes while helping other moms discover the show. Motherhood Unmasked is sponsored by Vine Life Faith, where we're breaking negative cycles and building healthy community through connection with Christ. VineLifeFaith.com.